Good afternoon. It is about 3:59, just about time for our fun Friday here on Stampin' with Jen. I hope everybody's having a good day. There I am. And let's see. Hope everybody's having a good day. Let's see. There we go. Set up so I can. Oh, that's what it is. Hold on. Hi, Marcy. I just realized I need to switch over to my Stampin' with Jen Facebook page on my computer so I can follow you guys in comments. How are you doing, Marcy? Oops. All right. So, Marcy, how's the weather up there? I'm just curious. I was just looking at it, and we've got 79 degrees today and a high of 59 tomorrow. We're going to do a 20-degree drop overnight. I hate that. So, welcome. It is 4 o'clock, so I'll just go ahead and get started. Welcome to Stampin' with Jen, Fun Friday. And my name is Jennie Fetz, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator out of the San Francisco Bay Area, actually the far east San Francisco Bay Area, about an hour east of San Francisco. And welcome. This is the live, and we will also have this as a replay on my Facebook and on my YouTube page tomorrow. So go ahead and leave comments, whether you're watching live or the replay. I'd love to be able to interact and chat with you. And let's go ahead and get going. So you had sun this morning, Marcy, but it's cloudy and rain for the next 5 days. We've only got rain for tomorrow, and that's only part of the day. I'll take that. Although, my goodness, I have no idea where Eric and I are going to retire, and one possibility is Southern Oregon, so I guess I should get used to rain. But anyway, let me go ahead, and we're going to use two specific stamp sets today that are in the new catalog. One is a carryover from last year's catalog, and one is brand new to our 24-25 catalog. I'll show you where you can find them because I can finally open up the catalog and show you guys the inside. So the first stamp set we're going to use is our sentiment stamp set, and that is here called Simply Said, and it's on page 19. And it's part of the, let's see, what do they call it again? I think it's called the Quick and Easy Options. The fun thing about Stampin' Up! This year's catalog is they've actually divided it and categorized areas so that if you have a specific stamping style, or if you're a brand new stamper, if you are somewhat new and you want to play a little bit but you need a little more guidance, and so it's really great the way they've got this set up. So this stamp set is in the been stamping for a little bit, but I still need a little guidance and a little help, and don't want to own, 100 stamp sets kind of thing. So again, it's Simply Said, and it's page 19. And the other stamp set and die set we're going to work with is a carryover, and it is this Forever Forest stamp set down here on the bottom of page 76. And we're going to use the stamps and a couple of the dies from the die sets. So we're going to do that. And then I've also got pegged in here, or tabbed a couple places, showing you the embellishments page, page 115 and 114. And we're going to be using some embellishments off of here. We're going to use the neutrals sequence, which carried over from last year. And we're also going to be using the the Adhesive Backed Pearl Trio, which is new this year. And it's right down here. We're going to use this one right here. And then we're also going to be using Stylish Shapes dies, which they don't have the actual picture of the dies in here, but it is on page 123 down at the bottom, and you can find images of this online in the online store. We will also be using embossing folders, which can be found on page 129. We're going to use the, I don't see, oh, there it is, number 12, the Timber 3D. We're going to use that as well. So I'm excited to go ahead and get started on some of our stamps, our cards. The first one we're going to make is this one. And I had this vision, and I had to go to Pinterest to figure out exactly how to put this vision together. And the fun thing about this card is a fun fold, is you open it up, and then it's another small card inside that's backwards. So that you open it up and you can write your sentiment here, write whatever message you want, but you've got the stamped image on the inside, and you've got a window here with a little bit more of a sentiment. Oh, thank you, Marcy. So we're going to go ahead and make this. Let's put this aside. We are using Mossy Meadow as our card base, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we will go ahead and burnish it. And then we are also using the another piece of Mossy Meadow, and it is 4 and I have it written down somewhere, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So there's just 1/8 of an inch around each side. It's so easy, very little edging, but it allowed me to have the embossing folder here. When I did the embossing folder on just the main card stock, the first the main card, it warped it a little bit. So I figured to strengthen it up, we would use a second piece of cardstock where we're going to have the embossing folder. But first we're going to cut with the dies the hole that we need first. So what we're going to do is we're going to line this up so we've got just a little bit of edge. And then I discovered this tool or tip. Where did I put my Post-it notes? Oh, there they are. And in order to hold these two together while we're embossing them, is I'm going to put a Post-it here and a Post-it on the top, and then I'm going to lift carefully so I don't move my card layer, and I'm going to fold it over so it is secure. And then we're going to take our Stylus Shapes, which is probably one of my most favorite basic stamp or die set. And I'm going to use the largest circle. We're going to place it right there. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to turn to my right, and I'm going to cut this real quick. So while I'm die cutting it, I'll leave the card here so you guys can see what we're going to be doing. And let me put this in. But there we go. Hopefully the table doesn't wiggle too much. We'll see. But my goodness. Yeah, there we go. We'll be doing that again when we go ahead and do our embossing on here. So now we've got, I'll take this off. We've got our card base. Oh no. Well, that Post-it didn't work. Let me cut something. Let's cut another piece real quick for this. So let me pull out my, maybe, see, I said 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And we'll go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this layer over the same layer that I just cut so that I can cut the same in the same spot. You can hear an echo of me talking. I don't know why. I wonder why. Oop, I just echoed it. I have no idea, Marcy. I don't know what the technical reason would be for something like that. I don't have anything else on other than my phone and my, well, oh, you know what? Let me turn down my, I muted my computer. Do you have that? Do you hear it still? Is the echo still there? Well, while you're typing and letting me know if you still hear my echo, I'm going to go ahead and recut this. And yeah, I could have had my phone up. That was the issue. Okay, you know what it is maybe I have my phone up, volume up a little bit louder than I have in the past, because usually I have my volume up on my computer, but I use my phone in my car also because it's got my Spotify playlist, and I was blasting a little music earlier today without running errands, so that very well could be because maybe my volume is up on my phone a little bit. So anyway, so we've just solved that one problem. I have my, here's my layer that's going to go over this, over the main piece. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. And what we're going to do is now we're going to run this through our timber embossing folder. And I'm going to run it this way so that the timber pattern is going up and going vertical. So I'm going to place my card layer as such. So let's go ahead and get that going. Oh. What am I? Oh, I forgot to take a layer out. Sorry. I forget. I always remember to take the two clear layers out, layer number 3. But I forget to take out panel number 2 when I'm doing my 3D embossing. And here we go. We have our embossed, sorry about that reach. You can see the embossed image on it, the timber, and I figured how perfect is it? It goes really well with the theme of the card. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to adhere that now with a little glue. And we'll go just a little bit around here. And then we'll line it up, the circles, the dice cut part up. There we go. And now we'll set this off to the side. We've got our card base ready. And now we're going to go ahead and do the inside. Now you could, if you want, use one of the small note cards that Stampin' Up! Pre-makes, but I prefer to cut my own only because I like to keep those stamped cards for to match the envelopes that they come with. So, and I like to make them as sets. So all you need now is you just need a 7 by 5 inch, and then you're going to score it at 3.5 and fold it over, and you've got your note card size. And what we have to remember to do, because I made a mistake of this last time, automatically, you know, it's traditionally you stamp on the front of the card, but with this one we have to flip it over and stamp on the back of the card. Let me get rid of these stray pieces of paper. So we have to turn the card over so we can stamp on the back of the card. And we're going to go ahead and stamp our images. And here is our Forever Forest. It is a cling stamp. We're going to use this large tree, and we're going to use this little one, which is little dirt mounds. We're going to use that with our pumpkin pie on the bottom. So let's go ahead and get that. I'm going to do some pumpkin pie first. Not pumpkin pie. Oh my goodness, pumpkin pie. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on one moment. Oh, excuse me. not pumpkin pie, pecan pie. We've got pumpkin pie, pecan pie, and peach pie now. So if you're hungry for pie, Stampin' Up's the way to go. So we're gonna go ahead and do our pecan pie here at the bottom. Just a couple of little stamps. We're gonna just go ahead and just randomly stamp at the bottom to give ourselves little mounds of dirt. There we go. There's our dirt. Yeah, pumpkin would have been funny. Can you say it was iron-enriched dirt, maybe, possibly? With that orangish, reddish look, the orangish look. But anyway, so we'll clean that stamp off and put it away in, so I don't lose it. Put it back in our case because otherwise I'll lose it. And then we're going to take our large E-size block and I'm going to center the stamp on that and take our Mossy Meadow. No, I'm going to use Old Olive. I apologize. I'm using Old Olive. I'm using Mossy Meadow in one of my other, in the other stamp, or in the other card. And then when it's a stamp this big, I like to just sort of go opposite and put the ink pad on top of the stamp. It does get a little more ink along the edges, but you just be really careful when you stamp. You don't rock the stamp when you put it down. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stand up so I can center this and put it right there. I'm not going to rock it, just give it a little push, lift straight up, and there is our trees. We'll go ahead and clean this stamp off so I can use it for the next card. And I think that's it for this for right now. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to use the smaller tree right here, and we're going to stamp that on a small piece of white. I have, it's a, let's see, a piece of a scratch which is about 1.5 by 3, and we'll do that in Old Olive as well. I think I'm gonna make, oh, it's a fun bundle. You know what? I was looking for something that could be a little more masculine because the one masculine one that I had, besides the Let It Ride, the one that had the reversible stamps that had the mountains on it and the moon and the trees. I can't remember. I think it was mountain something or other. They retired it, so I had to find something else, and this was the closest one to it, and I really liked it. So I'm going to stamp the tree here. Luckily, even though we got a little edge there, we don't have to worry about it because we're going to use the dies to take the dies, and we're going to cut that tree out. So here's the dies for that, and you get all sorts of cool things with this. You've got these, which could be mountains, and I've seen them used as in perspective, like they're in the distance, and with the bigger trees in front, so they look like you're looking at them from a distance. You can die cut these out for trees. They've got trees where you just do the tree, and then you can also die cut out your stamped images. There's rocks, there's a moon, there's stars, there's clouds of a couple different shapes. This is a really cool die set. I can't wait to explore with it more. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna put our die on here, and I'm gonna get a new Post-it flag. And let's see, make sure we got that all the way in. There we go. Let me die this, cut this out real quick. And let's see. Marcy, are you ready for summer to come, or are you more of a spring person? And there's our tree. And let's see. We'll go ahead and put this part together. and then we will do the sentiment. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue this on the inside, and it is the perfect size so you have a nice little frame all the way around. So you could use Stampin' Seal, but I'm going to use this because I want to make sure, the Tombow glue or the green glue, because I want to make sure I have the chance to move it around and adjust it a little bit if I don't get it perfectly centered. So there's our inside a card, and see when you open it up, then you can write your sentiment, or if you want to add another sentiment inside, you can. And then we're going to close this up, and I'm going to leave this here just to hold it down a little bit. You're a fall girl. Yeah. Oh, 65 to 70 degrees. Oh yeah. I can go up to 80. I'm good, but anything over 85, 90, forget it. And unfortunately here in Brentwood, our summers tend to be like in the 90 to 100 degree range. So I'm looking forward to when we move on and we go someplace that's a little bit cooler. So, all right. So now here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a little tag or banner that we're going to put here with our sentiment on there. And the sentiment is going to be happy birthday from on the Simply Said. Oh, I don't like humidity. That's one of the reasons why I'm leaning of not wanting to go to Texas, even though I have a lot of family in Texas. I think I'd want to stay away from Texas because I don't know if I want to deal with the humidity. All right, so we're going to do that in pecan pie. And I'm going to tell you something. I did the tip that Patty suggested of running the photopolymer eraser over our photopolymer, did I say photopolymer eraser? Our polymer erasers over the photopolymer stamps, and it's worked perfectly. And I knew I had one of those around from the days that my kids were in school, and I just had to dig around and find them, and I did. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this closer to the left side of that strip. And the strip is only, I think it's about it's a quarter of inch by about 3 inches. And now I'm going to, oh, where in Texas did you live? Because I mean, Texas is such a big state. So I'm going to create a banner. I'm going to go halfway here, and then I'm going to take a snip and then snip from the corner down to where I did the first snip, and it creates our border, or not our border, our banner. And I'm going to use my adhesive strip. I'm gonna put this on the back. Plano, oh, you were definitely farther in, closer to, isn't that closer to Dallas? Because my sister and her family live just outside of Houston. And then we're gonna put our banner there. And I forgot, we're gonna go ahead and glue our tree. There it is. I'm gonna glue my tree right here. So I'm just gonna put a little glue at the bottom of our tree, right here on the, and then put it right here. So it sits between these two trees, and it gives us a little more depth. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of bling for the stars in the sky. Hi, Nell. Welcome. And you're from Tyler, Texas. Now, where's Tyler? What? Give me a major city. Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin area. Where's Tyler compared to one of those? Which would be the closest city now? Let's see. Let's go ahead and do this. I just need to find, there's my take a pic tool. We're going to do a couple of small little sequins. We're going to just put them right, you know, the fun little triangle, they say. to give us stars. And there is our first card with the Forever Forest. East of Dallas, closer to Louisiana. Okay. So now my sister lives in Spring, which is right outside of Houston. Matter of fact, I visited with them right after On Stage. I drove up and I spent a few extra days since my mom lives with her. And I visited them and got to see my niece and nephew and everybody. So there's our first Forever Forest card, and it's a fun fold. And you can add whatever. You can add another sentiment inside or use this to write a note. What would be cool is if you took, instead of happy birthday, if you used, say, you could do the thinking of you, and then you could write a little note inside. So a lot of opportunities and different choices you can do it here. So now we're going to go ahead, and he loves the dry heat, hence the reason he wants to retire in Scottsdale. Oof, no. The only place you could get me close to retiring in Arizona, Marcy, would be Sedona North. And it would actually have to be farther north, maybe Prescott, or just plain old, let's just call it what it is, Flagstaff. So because up there, your highs, I mean, most homes up there, from what I gather, aren't built with air conditioners. You don't automatically get air conditioning. My daughter's apartment complex is one of the few complexes that actually has air conditioning, and they rarely need it, because if you have a really, really hot heat wave there, it hits maybe 81, 82. So, all right. So now our new, and Katy. My sister talks about Katy, Texas. They have some good friends that live out in that area. All right, here's the other set, card we're going to make using the Forever Forest. And instead of using this saying or this sentiment from the Loveliest Trees, which is a new one also, I'm going to also stick with Simply Said and use a sentiment from there. And so Flagstaff, oh yeah. Yeah, I would say Scottsdale gets really, really hot because that's not far from Phoenix, isn't it? It's pretty close to Phoenix. And I know Phoenix is nasty. I mean, when we took my daughter to school last August, and we were in Phoenix, we flew into Phoenix, and it was almost 115, 116. Oh my gosh, that would have done me in. I was like, no, thank you. So our next card is going to use the card bases Misty Moonlight, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, for our traditional base. But we're going to do, instead of doing a vertical, we're going to do a horizontal card. And the outside of the card is it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And so we have just a slight frame of the Misty Moonlight. But before we put this on there, we're going to go ahead and use our blending brushes. And we're going to blend using 3 colors. Oh, that's right, Nell, I forgot. You're over in this area, right? Because you go up to Vallejo easily. Yeah, Benicia. You know, it's funny, now you say that, Benicia. When I was teaching full-time, I had a student whose father was a firefighter for the city of Benicia. So we're going to use Misty Moonlight and Balmy Blue for the sky. And then we're going to go back to our pecan pie and use that for the ground. So let's go ahead and start with our Misty Moonlight. I'm going to set this card aside and get my dark blue blending brush. And I'm going to try and remember Patty's tip when she said you just leave it partially open. And with our blending brushes, we're going to load up the brush with some ink and then tap it off and do a little brush in there so that when we come on to our pad, and the harder you push, the darker it is. So we're going to give it a medium And we're going to go down about a third, maybe a little over a third, and do some there. That looks good. A little bit more right there. Hi, Patty. Was that, oh, post office, fun time at the post office. I think about as much to mail as you did. I probably wouldn't do it this way, but with as little as I have, I tend to schedule and they can come pick it up when they're here, dropping off my mail. And then I don't worry about having to run to the post office. Oh, you're gonna get the stamp, Marcy. And I'm gonna use my Balmy blue so that the sky gets a little bit lighter as we get closer to the surface. You know, it's always a little bit darker in the atmosphere. And then we're gonna come down and we're gonna do a little blue, Balmy blue. We'll go down a little bit more. We're gonna cover, most of the page is gonna be covered with our blues. I just want just a little bit of brown for the ground. As a matter of fact, I might add a little bit more. I think I'm going to add a little bit more Misty Moonlight right here, and there's still some on here. I don't want to push too high, but I like the blending of the two colors. All right, there's our sky. Oh, you know what? I discovered that the other day, Patty. I sent, according to their website, all it needed was 4 stamps for something that I was sending to my daughter. And because the envelope size and the weight all fell into just needing the 4 stamps. And when she received it in Flagstaff, she received a notice at the apartment saying that she needed to come pick it up at the post office. And because of the thickness, they considered it a package. And so I told her just put it on the credit card, the extra $3 or $4, so she wouldn't be out the money of something I sent to her. So now I'm going to put a little pecan pie at the bottom, and that will be our ground. And let's see, there we go. We don't want it too dark. I just want it ever so slightly. And there's our ground. I'll move this up so you guys can see a little bit better. And now we'll go ahead and we've done our background. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to set this aside. I'll set it with our card base. And we're going to take another piece of white and we're going to stamp with Mossy Meadow, our largest trees. And like I showed with the other stamp, what I like, the other card, is I like to take this, and when it's a large stamp like this, I just sort of tap on the card, not on the card, well, I'll tap it on the card, but I like to tap it onto the stamp itself. So there we go. There's our trees in Mossy Meadow. We're going to, I'm going to stamp it this way so I can make sure I don't run out of space. And I'm not going to rock it, and we'll lift it straight up. And there's our trees. And we are going to die cut this as well. And this one we'll take out of our die cuts. We'll take this one that already has the Post-it flag on it. We'll go ahead and set that up to die cut those trees out. Let's see, we'll get it centered. And I use, actually, rather than trying to center it on the branches and everything, I tend to go with the trunks of the tree because it's a smaller space, and try and post or fix it that way. So we'll go ahead and die cut this out. All right. All right, here we go. There's our trees. And what we're going to do is, let's see, I use adhesive strips. So find my adhesive strip here, and we'll cut. I think actually what I'm going to do first is I think I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my card base. And let me go ahead and burnish this real quick to get to lay flat. And we'll go ahead and attach this. Make sure when I glue it on there, you make sure you glue it so that the bottom is where you open the card. Otherwise, the tree and everything will be topsy-turvy upside down. And ask me how I know. I've done that a few times. Attach things upside down. So this, I'm going to stand up. All right, let's see. Make sure we get an even frame all the way around. There we go. There's our card. Now I'm going to use our adhesive strips. I'm going to cut 3 adhesive strips to put on each of these trees. We'll go probably about that wide. And I'm using actually a pair of Stampin' Up! Scissors that are quite classic. Patty and I know Patty, you would remember when we used to have to cut the stamps out. Marcy had Nell. Were you guys with Stampin' Up! Back in the day when you had to cut the rubber stamps out? So go ahead and put this one. We'll put this one right here. And I think I'll cut this one a little bit thinner. And that one will go right there. And we'll cut a smaller one. Actually, we'll just use this one right here. We'll have to make it a little bit shorter though. So, oh, I hate it. Yeah, I know. I didn't like doing that, Patty. That was, because I always either cut it too close or cut it too wide, and it's one of those things. Yes. Yep. All right, we're gonna put that there. Put this here. And this one. Now we'll go ahead and take these off, and I'm gonna attach these. Oh, I have this little, oh, that one's not gonna work. All right, we're gonna attach these to the stamp. You have somehow gotten these scissors. I actually love these scissors for cutting the adhesive, adhesive strips and things like that. So they work perfectly fine, and I won't get rid of them because I love them so much. All right, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment, and we're going to use, I've got too many things in this small area. We're going to use the Thinking of You stamp from this. And Patty, look what I found, Patty. I found it, I was cleaning things out, and I went through a drawer system that we had from when the kids were going to school, and it's been a while. And I knew I'd find something, a couple of them around here. So I found them, and I seasoned some of my photopolymer stamps with this after your tip the other day. So let's go ahead and get, let's see, this block out. This is block C. I'm going to sort of get that straight. And I think I'm going to use Memento black for this one. So, yeah, I was going to try and buy some off of Amazon, and I happened to be doing something. I looked, I'm like, let's see. Oh, look, there's a couple of erasers. I have 2 of them. So we'll go ahead and use our Memento black for this, and we're going to put our Thinking of You right here. Perfect. And we're going to add a couple of our Misty Moonlight adhesive backed pearl trios. And we'll add a little of that. And then we're going to zhuzh up the inside of the card on this one as well. I've got so many things around here. Where's my, there it is. We're going to put a few of these on here. Let's see. We'll put, let's see. They sort of remind me, it could be like the glimmer of stars, or I don't know. Just, let's see. We'll do one more, because I always heard things like this are better in odds. So we're going to do our 5 there. And then we're going to zhuzh up the inside by stamping the white card that we put on the inside, my white panel on the inside. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp, let's see, which stamps do I want to use? Oh, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use this stamp set, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a Post-it over because I only want the 2 smaller stamps. So we're going to put a Post-it note over these 3. And then we put them on a stamp. Like we're going to take this off. I'm going to have a lot of cleaning to do. Hi, Shannon. How are you doing today? Did you get my goals? I sent you a message with my goals for the week. Not goals for the week, goals for the month, my month of May. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp a little bit. I don't want to get too much ink on the Post-it note either because that can cause a problem, but we're going to just stamp a little bit. We'll take the Post-it note off. And I'm just going to stamp it right down here in the corner. And there's my zhuzhing up of my, it just zhuzhed it up a little bit. We'll put this over here. Now we're gonna put this inside. Oh, cool. You making supper? Oh, tonight is whatever I want because my husband's at work. So it's just me and the dog and he gets his food and I don't know what I'm going to make. I'm thinking breakfast for dinner tonight for some reason. I just bought a brand new waffle maker and I want to sort of use it. So I might make waffles for dinner. I think I might do waffles. What are you having, Shannon? There we go. There's the inside of my card. So there's card number 2 with our Forever Forest stamp set and die set. So let me go ahead and show you the 2 cards that I've made. And you can let me know which one. Where did I put the other one? Oh, there it is. I made 2 cards. We made this one. Oh, lamb chops. You know, I haven't had lamb chops before. Here's our first card, our Thinking of You. And it's using the blending brush technique. And then here is our second card, or actually it's reversed. This is the second card we made. This is the first card we made. And this is a fun fold using the note card size card on the inside, but backwards. And then you fold it over like this. And then we add the little tree here and a little dimension on the front. Thank you, Marcy. I'm glad you love these cards. So let me know which card's your favorite. Thank you, Nell. Oh, okay, Shannon, thanks. I would love it. Let me know, Shannon, after you see the cards and you watch and make them, which one you think is your favorite card. So thanks, Patty. You're placing another order soon, Marcy? Yeah, I'm holding back a lot of restraint. I'm holding back a lot of restraint because there's a lot of things I wouldn't mind getting, but I think I'm going to wait until the middle of May, beginning of June. We'll see. So anyway, thank you, Patty. The circle card. This was one, it was fun. I sort of had it in my mind, but I wasn't sure how to do it. And so like I said earlier, Pinterest was my friend, and I went on Pinterest, did a lot of searching, and I found how to make this card. I just wish I could remember who I saw make it. I'd give her credit. I will look it up and put it in my YouTube information as to who I got the idea from this card from. So, hi, Colleen. How are you? So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and it's, let's see, almost 4:45. Wow. My daughter promised me, some of you guys know last week she tried calling me during my Fun Friday. And this afternoon, Marcy and Patty, we were talking back and forth a little bit because she's moving back home next week. Eric goes down to pick her up next Thursday. And so she's packing everything up, and she called me and said, Mom, I need to talk to you real quick, but I want to make sure I call you now and not later because I don't want to interrupt your Fun Friday video like you were doing like I did last week. And I said, oh, I appreciate it because it caused a little confusion. So anyway, Thank you very much for joining me. If you didn't catch all of this, you want to catch the replay, you can watch the replay on my Facebook group or Facebook page this evening, and or you can catch it. I will have the YouTube up. It will up. No, let me say that one again. I will have this up on YouTube tomorrow morning. So have a great week. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Marcy, stay dry. And we will see you guys all next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.